You've been there for so long and it's such a big decision. So just allow yourself that space and that time to kind of come to terms with that and to accept and be aware that this isn't a simple thing, okay? So forgive yourself. Hello and welcome to Not Your Forever Job, the show that helps you figure out what you're doing in your career, what you truly want, and how to make it happen. I am Hayley Loren, an engineer and career coach, and today on the show we have another question that's come in, which is all to do with kind of fear of changing jobs. So let's jump into the question. Hi Hayley, I've been working for the same company for 8 years and I feel it's time to leave. Deep down, I know it's the right decision, but truthfully, I'm scared. I'm not sure why, but I just fear it will all go wrong. What should I do? And this is from Ben. So thank you so much, Ben, for this one. And you know what? I completely understand where you're at. I really do get it, because I remember when I was feeling this as well, like that first moment when you kind of realize, or maybe you've realized for a little while and you know it's time to leave, but you've been somewhere for so long that you're kind of comfortable and you're kind of scared about leaving because you don't know what's on the other side. That kind of fear is so natural. And I'm sure because you've been there for so long as well, you've got kind of friends and you know the people and you might kind of have some loyalty towards the company as well. So it can be really, really difficult. So what I've kind of done is I've thought about some of the kind of steps that I went through that I found really, really helpful. And I think they'd be helpful for you as well. So I've got 8 steps that I kind of want to walk you through. And if you go through each of these one by one, then you will get to a place where kind of the fear drops away and you can start kind of progressing forward. So let's jump into these steps, shall we? So step number 1 is to simply accept that you want to leave. And I know this might sound simple, but the thing is that you need to kind of leave yourself time and allow yourself time to get to a place where you feel ready. And often these thoughts will just fly into your head like, oh, I want to leave, I'm not happy. And you might dismiss them or you're scared about them. But if you just allow it to kind of be there and to really sit, if you just sit at work and look around and be like, am I ready to leave this place? Do I want to leave this place? Because the thing is, it's more like a relationship. If you've been there for so long, for 8 years, that's a long time to be at a company. Or even if if anyone else listening has been with their company for a few years, you kind of build these bonds. They've helped you if you've been there since you graduated from university maybe, and they've helped you through kind of your youth in your 20s or through a particular phase of your life, then you feel loyal. At the end of the day, you feel loyal to them, and you have been loyal. You've put in a lot of time, you've put in a lot of effort with them. So to leave is a big decision, and it's not the same as choosing to leave a job if you've only been there for a year or just switching between companies. It's bigger than that. And I think it's so important to just accept that it is a big decision and to not beat yourself up because you've not actually done anything about it yet. It's actually just looking at it and being aware that it is hard and it is upsetting. And of course, deep down, you're going to hope and wish that they would just suddenly give you your dream ideal job and they would change their culture and change everything that you find irritating about the company. But it doesn't work like that. Most companies, if they've been around for a long time, they are what they are. They're not really going to change. And the only way that you're going to get exposure to a different environment and more skills is to leave and to move forward. And you need to give yourself time to actually come to terms with that and to let go. There is that kind of letting go moment, really, just like if you're breaking up with somebody. You have to come to the decision that you want to break up with them. You have to kind of come to terms with it. And then the difficult thing in a company is that you've got to stay in the relationship, technically, even though you're not happy. It's a bit like, I'm sure some people broke up over lockdown or something and they still had to live together for a year, even though they were ready to break up. It's a bit like that. You've got to continue with your job until you find another one. So that can be really difficult as well. So all of this emotion, no wonder you feel scared. it's so natural that you would feel scared because, you've been there for so long and it's such a big decision. So just allow yourself that space and that time to kind of come to terms with that and to accept and be aware that this isn't a simple thing, okay? So forgive yourself for not doing anything about it yet and know that it's normal. So step number two is to diagnose. So diagnose the situation. Just like a doctor would, if you're not feeling very well, if you're not very happy, you have to diagnose it. You have to figure out, okay, well, what exactly are you scared of? What is your biggest fear about leaving? Is it kind of not knowing if the situation will be worse at a different company? Is it having a lack of security? Are you scared that you're not going to be good enough to get another job anywhere else? Really dig deep into why you're scared, because when you know why you're scared and the root cause of that fear, you can start kind of understanding, okay, is this fear, is it something I can control? Can I gain more skills in order to get the job that I want? Or can I do a financial plan to make sure that I have enough money in between jobs? There are steps that you can take to combat those fears. Then there are other fears that is just your mind, like the demons in your mind kind of putting you down, like saying you're not good enough, you don't deserve another job, and all of this sort of rubbish, which is there to just hold you back. It's like this slime, this oily slime that just kind of like covers you. And it's important to kind of see through that and to realize that just because, you believe that you're not good enough, it doesn't mean it's true. You will be good enough, and there will be a company out there who will really value you. And it's important to start building up your confidence around this as well. So that's the next step, which is diagnosing the situation. So once you've done that, once you've given yourself time and you've accepted where you are and that you want to leave, once you've kind of diagnosed and figure out why you're scared, like truthfully why you're scared, then you can start looking at options. So step number 3 is get clear on options. So this is a really simple thing because you might have more than one option in front of you. It might be that you don't need to leave necessarily. It might be that you can move to a different department, or maybe you can go on secondment to a different kind of country, or maybe there's a different part of the company that you can move to. Depending on where you are and what your company is like, there could be other options within it as well. So this step is all about brainstorming, coming up with as many options that are available to you. So an option is to leave. Another option could be, maybe if you didn't say specifically what you want to leave for and what you've got going on in your life, but if you have a side project or a dream job that you want, then maybe another option is actually going part-time where you are in your job and spending half of your time kind of earning money and keeping that security, and then your other time kind of spending that focusing on your dream and moving that forward. Then there's the option of staying where you are. That is an option. You could choose not to leave, or changing departments, or trying to ask for different types of work. There's so much that could be available to you. You might not only have the two options of either leave or stay. There might be many more options available to you. And to help with the diagnosing and the looking at all of the options available to you, I do have a career clarity starter guide on my website. So it's completely free and you can just go and download it. And this will help kind of you to figure out what it is about your job that you don't like and maybe some of the next steps of what you actually want. So definitely head to my website. I'll put the link below and go check that out. So then step number 4 is exploring each option. So this is kind of like a testing phase. So before you just leap into kind of starting a new job or trying to decide exactly what you want to do, you should test out different ideas, like look at each of those options and have conversations with people. If you need to have conversations internally with your company, have those conversations. If there's anybody that you can meet up with outside of work who can offer advice. This is also a stage where you can kind of update your CV and look at all of the transferable skills that you've got and remind yourself of all of the projects that you've been on. I mean, 8 years is a long time. So by now you have a lot of experience. So this is about kind of collating everything together and really kind of exploring and getting clear on where you're at right now before you start trying to take those next steps of moving forward. So step number 5 is get support. So you're going to make a big decision here. You don't need to do this by yourself. And, it's very common that people feel like, oh, you need to do everything alone. But no, lean on your friends, ask your family. And, that's what coaches are here. That's what I'm here for as well. Career coaching. It's what these podcasts are for. It's why I kind of work with clients. It's why I do one-to-one coaching and group coaching as well. So, reach out and really get as much support as you can, because that is going to help you to succeed in your shift and to make sure that you're actually heading in the direction that you truly want to go. So step number 6, which is one that is a theme, I think, across many of my podcast episodes, which is follow the fear. It's important to recognize at this point, right? Now that you've started exploring options and you've started kind of having conversations with people and looking at your CV, you will start to feel scared again. You've already said that you feel scared, which is natural. But what's also natural is that the fear is going to keep coming up because this is a change. This is a difficult process. You're stepping outside of your comfort zone. So it's important to recognize how freaking awesome you are for taking this step, even to look at it and to assess these options. So many people just stay in the same job for years and years. So where you are right now and what you're doing, even listening to this episode, is the first step, which is incredible. So celebrate that and know that fear is part of this process because you're stepping out of your comfort zone. It is only natural to feel scared. And in this situation, fear is good. Fear is a good thing. I know it feels bad, but the fear is actually beneficial. It's a really, really positive thing in this because it means that you care. It means that you're doing something new. It means that you're going to be venturing into new territory, into a new adventure. And that is why life is worth living. And I've said this before and in my other episodes, that following the fear is part of the process. Cool. Okay. So step number 7 then is taking small actions. So once you've identified the options and once you've started having conversations with people, then you can start filtering these options out. So it might be clear to you that maybe option A, B, and C are more obvious ones for you that you want to go down. This is where you need to start thinking, okay, well, how can I put this into action? How many jobs do I need to be applying to? How many people should I try and connect with on LinkedIn? How many conversations should I have a week? And start booking things in your diary that are actually going to help you move forward, because the important thing is that at least every single week you want to be taking one step towards making this change. If you're able to do kind of one a day or maybe one every other day, set yourself some goals and some targets, because this is what is going to keep you on track and help you moving forward. Then after all of this and around all of this, step number 8, which to me is such a big thing. And it's kind of a mistake, I think, that people forget, really. People don't tend to focus on this one. And this is about looking after your mindset through this process. You can be so hard on yourself. You can have such high expectations, or you can be, allow yourself to get into these spirals of thinking negatively or feeling bad because you get rejected from a job and therefore you won't be able to get another one. And, it's important to remember that anything to do with careers is difficult and it's hard, and you need to look after yourself. And when you look after yourself, this is what's going to make the process more enjoyable. It's going to make it help you keep healthy, and it's going to help you show up in interviews as your best self as well, right? So look after your mindset. And to do that, definitely check out some of my previous episodes, because I have got one on kind of positive mindset tools, which I think would be really, really helpful. So these are the kind of major 8 steps that I think you can work through now. And I think this gives you a lot to do, right? And there's much more, obviously, that we could dive into details in all of this. But I think if you follow each of these steps, it's going to help move you forward. It's going to help you progress. And I think you will feel kind of more in control. And that's the thing that you want here. You know, when it's about change, you want to control as much as you can, which is only natural. And this process will help with that. So thank you, Ben, so much for your question. It was a really, really valuable one. And I hope that anyone else listening, if you're listening right now, that you have taken notes and you're going to try and put some of this in action yourself as well. Now, if you need any more help, then I have a weekly email called the Career Boost that I send out on a Monday morning here in the UK. It could be a different time if you're in another country, but it's on a morning. So it gives you that kind of boost on a Monday morning, and it's that extra support, that extra weekly support that you need to kind of get you through the week. So if you want to sign up for that, then just head on over to my website. The link will just be below. It's hayleyloren.com/coaching. And also, if you have any burning questions or, you need help with anything, do get in contact with me. I really, really want to carry on answering your questions. So just send me an email. If you send me an email, it's actually me that you're emailing. It's not a robot. It's not somebody else. I don't have a PA or anything like that. It's me, genuinely me. So please get in contact. My email is hayley@hayleyloren.com. I would be very happy to answer your emails. And thank you so much for joining me today. And I will speak to you next week.